Hello and a very good day everyone. So today we will learn on how we can transform data into dashboard in the Power BI. So in today's session what we will learn is how we can transform this particular case, this particular data to the dashboard inside the Power BI. So in this case study 3, we do have a data of the sales of Apple products such as Apple Watch, iPhone, MacBook and other Apple accessories. So it is the sales of Apple product, and the sales also we have the sales method, which is either the purchases were made in the Apple store, online payment or general outlet. And also we do have the sales of Apple product in various locations from India to England, Malaysia, and also we have also data sales in US and also England, and also the Apple products model and the sales value. So now we will try to understand how we can actually transform this particular data to an exciting dashboard. Okay, so what we do is we go to the Power BI desktop. So this is a Power BI desktop. So what we are going to do is we are going to import the data from the Excel. Why we import the data from Excel? Because our data originally is in the Excel. So what we need to do is we need to go to import data from Excel. We click here and then we choose the file 23rd September 2023. If you know what's your file name and what's the location, so you can choose accordingly, and then we click open. So once you click open, it will load for a while and it will import the data from Excel to the Power BI. Alright, so once you import the data, you will notice that a big box will appear. So in this big box, I'm going to choose case study 3 Apple. I'm going to click this, and what I'm going to do is I want to transform the data. Now why I want to transform the data is I want to ensure my data is stated in a proper format. So if you look over here, we do have the data such as the dates, Apple product categories, sales method, the location, and up to the values. But now if you notice here, on this particular column, this is the dates. That means the transaction happened in these particular dates. But however, you notice that it is now stated in a different format. Instead of a date format, we do have in a words and also numbers format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this particular icon over here, and then the next thing is instead of a decimal or a numbers format or text format, what I'm going to do is I want to choose date. So once I click date, you will notice now it is appear in a date format. And then what I do is I click close and apply. So once I click close and apply, it will load for a while and eventually all the data will be imported to the Power BI desktop. So now all the data of the Excel data has been imported to the Power BI desktop. So now what I'm going to do is I want to create a slicer. So first thing is what I'm doing is I want to create a slicer over here. So I click a slicer, and then now what I do is I choose the Apple product categories. So I tick this. So now in this particular slicer, we have Apple product categories. Okay, so now this is in a vertical list. So what I do is I go to format your visual, and under slicer settings, I want to click into a drop down list. So I want to make it a drop down. So now we have a drop down list over here. And what I'm going to do is now if you notice it's quite small. So I'm going to go to the slicer settings, and under the slicer settings, we do have values. And what I'm going to do is I just want to put maybe 20. Okay, so now we do have here 20. So now it looks bigger. Okay, all this looks bigger. At the same time, I also want to go to the slicer header. Okay, let me go here. The slicer header over here, instead of 12, I want to put it as 20. Okay, so now you can see this is clear as well, or dark black as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to copy this and paste, so that this one I want one particular drop down list for the countries. So I untick this and I select the countries, and I'm going to do the same, copy this and paste. So we have another, and this one is for the cities. Okay, let me adjust this accordingly. Okay, so now this thing over here, instead of countries, I want to put cities. Okay, so now we do have Apple product categories, countries and city. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to create a title. Okay, I want to create a title. So what I'm going to do is I just want to select the card. So down this is the card, and then what I'm going to do is I want to create a new measure using simple DAX. So I want to click this. Alright, so now when I select this, it will load for a while. Okay, so now this one here, I want to put here as the title, and then I want to put the title a unique title. So I just want to put as sales of close apostrophe and selected value. So under selected value, we have two arguments, which is the column name and also the alternate result. So the column name is, what I want to do is I want to use categories, and if just say the alternate result is, I want to put as overall Apple products. Okay, products, and then I close bracket, and then I put N. Okay, so now we have sales of the Apple products, and then what I'm going to do is apostrophe in close apostrophe and I want to put selected value again, and this time I want to choose the countries. If it's not countries, I want to put as the world. Close apostrophe and close bracket, and I press enter. Okay, so now once I press enter, it will load for a while. So automatically we do have a title data over here, and once what I do is I'm going to click this title thing here. So now we have this title, and of course over here we have this title thing. So I want to remove this. I double click, I press spacebar, and there you go. And what I'm going to do is I want to extend this. So now we have sales of overall Apple products in the world. So if just say I click this iPhone, so now what we do is we will have the sales of iPhone in the world. Okay, so if just say I want to know about India, so now if I just say I click means sales of iPhone in India. So if just say I click this, okay, I don't want iPhone, I want MacBook. So we have sales of MacBook in India. So if just say I clear filter, so we have sales of overall Apple products in India. Okay, so let me go up here, adjust accordingly. Okay, so now this is how it looks like. So let me change the color. I want to change the color to maybe dark blue. So effect, go here, and I put it dark blue. Of course, here we do have the writing. So here go here, and I'll go to visual, call out value. I want to put it as white color. Okay, so now we have sales of overall Apple products in India. So if just say I want to know about Malaysia, so I click yes, sales of overall Apple products in Malaysia. So basically this is actually a dynamic title. So let me clear this. So now we have in the world. Okay, so now we have the title, we do have the drop down list. So what's next? Next is I want to choose a funnel. So I'm going to click the funnel over here. Okay, let me put it over here. Let me extend it, and let me enlarge it. Okay, so now we do have a funnel. So the next step is I want to know the models and also the sales. So let me click this over here. So I want to click the Apple products model, and also I want to know the sales. So now we do have the list of sales. But the thing is right here is too much, right? We have too many models. So instead of too many, I want it to be top 5. So under the filter section over here, filter on this visual. So I want to choose this. I want to click this, expand. Okay, and then instead of basic filtering, I click this, I put top N. So the top N will tell me it's either top 10 or top 5. So it depends on how you can customize it. So I click on top 10, I put here 5, and then by this value, I just select this, I drag it, and I put it over here. And then I press apply filter. So now automatically you have the Apple products. So if just say, I want to know about iPhone. So I click this. So only iPhone we have 3 different products. So if just say I click MacBook, so MacBook have 3 products. Apple Watch, they have 2 products. If just say I want to know overall, so now overall we have 5 different products. But now we see that in overall in this world, that the most sales is iPhone 13 Pro. But if just say I don't want the entire world, I only want to know about India. So I click India, we see that iPhone 13 Pro Max. How about Malaysia? Malaysia is the Apple Watch, which is the Series 7. And then if just say I want to know about Australia, so this is the details. And then from here, we can actually choose what is the states and whatnot. Okay, so now we do have the funnel, the drop-down list, and the title. So what's next? The next thing what we want to do is, I want to create a column chart. So I select a column chart. Okay, let me extend the size. Okay, so now this is the column chart. So the one next thing is the x-axis and y-axis. So the x-axis is I want it to be a date, so that we do have a date. But instead of year, day, and month, I only want quarter. And then what I do is I select the sales. So now we do have the details of the Apple products in Australia, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. And what I can do is I want to make it bigger, so that of course the x-axis and y-axis, I want to make it a bigger size. So instead of 9, I put it 15. Okay, and then the same thing, instead of y-axis, the y-axis also, instead of 9, I also want to put it as 15. Okay, so now we have this is big. And then what I want to do next is I want to go to the data bus. I want to enable the data labels. So over here, I want to enable the data labels. So I select the data labels. So you can see the numbers over here, but it's quite small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this. I want to go to the values, and under the values, instead of 9, I want to put it 20. Okay, so now you can see the values. And of course, I also want to change the columns color. Instead of blue, I want to put it as dark blue. Okay, so now we have this. And also the funnel, I also want to change to dark blue as well. So the colors, I want to put it as, instead of blue, I want to choose as dark blue. Okay, so now this is the colors and this is the presentation. So if just say you want to know about the sales of Apple products in India, so when I click India, you will notice that this is the performance of Apple products in India. And then instead of just say all the products, I want to know about iPhone. So I click on iPhone. So now you notice that for iPhone, there is no sales on quarter 1, but there is a sales on quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. So basically this is the presentation where you can actually make to your top management and top executive. So if you look here, originally this is our data. From this given this the database, it's hard for us to understand, interpret and analyze what is the performance on quarter and also who is the highest, who is the lowest. But over here, we can understand based on this visualization in this Power BI desktop, we can understand what is the sales performance of overall Apple products around the world.